On tonight's CTV News, a local school is singling boys out for special attention. Civil Defence are using residents' experiences to prepare Wellington. And we find out how the city's children are coping post-quake with the ongoing flooding. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. A Christchurch Community Board chairwoman has been threatened with defamation by a demolition company. The threat comes after she posted on her Facebook page how she was concerned the company might not be following correct procedures when handling asbestos. Marcus Gibbs reports.
The house is gone now, but during yesterday's demolition, Burwood Pegasus Community Board Chair Andrea Cummings was shocked to see men in hazmat suits clearing the demolition waste just metres from her fence.
Initially they sealed off the inside of the house and used all the proper procedures and things with the removal, so I wasn't terribly worried. But then yesterday I came home around the middle of the day to discover all these men in blue suits with dust masks on their faces.
The asbestos had been initially removed, but during demolition extra asbestos was found underneath the windowsills. Andrea posted this video on Facebook and was extremely concerned her family was breathing in asbestos dust from the bins. That must have been pretty alarming.
It was pretty alarming because we'd had no notification that this was there, and the initial removal was confined, it was controlled, you could see they'd sealed off the house. But this was unconfined because there was a digger munching through the house and there was dust clouds everywhere and there was debris flying. It broke my fence, a piece broke my fence.
ProTrans was in charge of the demolition. Owner Gerard Baldry declined our offer of an on-camera interview, but did tell CTV News proper safety precautions were followed, and following Andrea's complaint, WorkSafe New Zealand gave the site its tick of approval.
They've given me no communication that they know that information. It would have been really nice if they'd given me a call or knocked on my door to tell me that the tests have shown that it's safe, because they've not communicated with me at all.
An independent safety contractor says everything was above board on the site as well. He says the video on Facebook didn't even contain asbestos-contaminated material.
And there was no asbestos put into these bins at all.
ProTrans owner then told me Andrea Cummings was completely out of control with her two Facebook posts. He said he would be issuing her with a defamation case if she didn't publicly apologise.
My job is to advocate for the community, and I know that asbestos is a concern amongst the community of Christchurch at the moment, and I know there's a lot of other people posting on Facebook, they're having the same issues. My neighbour 2 doors down, she was too scared to hang her washing outside anymore because of the asbestos dust.
Recent media reports around the danger of asbestos have heightened the fear levels of Cantabrians.
It could be many years down the track before they present with an x-ray and the doctor tells them, hey, you've got asbestosis in your lungs, have you ever worked with asbestos? They may not even remember having been a baby in Christchurch 40 years down the track.
Andrea says her issue is how no one in the street was notified when the second lot of asbestos was found. Other than a sign on a fence, demolition companies aren't required to notify neighbours if they're handling asbestos material on a site. Should residents be notified as part of procedure?
I would expect so. I think that's a fair and reasonable request. I'm not sure of the situation as far as this lady goes, whether she was advised or not.
The fact that it was uncontained and it was hazard enough that they should be wearing dust masks and full suits, why weren't we only a couple of metres away even told about it, let alone offered the chance to find out the information or to find out where we're at risk?
In future, she would like companies to let nearby residents know before handling asbestos on sites. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Do you own a gun? If you don't, your neighbours probably do, according to the results of an investigation into firearms.
The Christchurch Press is reporting Canterbury is the most gun-friendly region in the country. According to their investigation, there's more than 34,000 gun licence holders living in the Canterbury region. That's 6% of the local population. Let's compare that to Auckland City, where just 6,000 people are licence holders. The licence allows people to own a sporting or hunting rifle, or even a shotgun. 8% of South Islanders have a firearm licence. That's double that of North Islanders. The South Island is only home to a quarter of the New Zealand population. However, 36% of firearm licence holders live here. Nationwide, 237,684 people are licence holders.
One local school is hoping to spark an interest in English amongst schoolboys. Emma Cropper has the story.
No, this isn't a class at an all-boys school. It's a Year 12 English class at Rangiora High.
At length it ceased, the old man was dead.
A co-ed school which now offers boys-only English classes to Year 11 and 12 students.
It's a lot more exciting than just a normal class, and you do sort of get that more attention, I suppose.
The classes are built around engaging the boys in the subject in a way that's different to your standard co-ed class.
We look at the interests of the boys, and clearly they like a lot of violence, shoot 'em up things, so we'll tailor the films accordingly. The sort of text that they read as well may not be sort of novel size, so we'll throw a few short stories at them instead, and so they find it easier to handle those sorts of texts.
It caters to the boyish banter of students. And of course, the distractions of co-ed classes are taken out of the picture.
We learn a lot better without being distracted by the girls as well, because sometimes they're a bit of a distraction. More focusing, I guess, without any girl distractions.
But is it working? The school first trialled the classes in 2011 after targeting a selection of students who would benefit from the change in learning environment.
Most of the boys that were in the class actually performed really well, so we've carried it on for the last 3 years.
Statistics from the Ministry of Education rank the boys in co-ed schools with a much lower achievement and participation level than those in boys-only schools. In the past 5 years, just over 60% of boys participated in NCEA English at co-ed schools like Rangiora High, with around 40% of them achieving their qualification. Those figures come in lower than students in boys-only schools. So when it comes to this different way of teaching at Rangiora High, the results are no different.
If we compare then to our normal bulk standard mid-band boys in co-ed classes, the levels of achievement are significantly higher across the board.
While the topics the boys study are tailored to interest them, the bones of the class are no different to any other Year 12 English class across the country.
We do the same curriculum standards, we just tailor the text so that's something that they'd be more interested in, something they'd be more likely to engage with.
More of these classes could end up being rolled out across the country if the figures remain in their favour. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
A new video from Civil Defence is preparing the rest of the country for what Canterbury experienced in the aftermath of the September 2010 and February 2011 earthquakes. Civil Defence officials are now hoping New Zealanders will learn from the residents who survived the disasters. 5 short videos are being made with people talking about their experiences and sharing tips to help others get through. Here is a clip from the first video, which was filmed at the Littleton Saturday Market.
I think holding it together, keeping calm. You just got to ride them out. You can't do anything about them, so you just have to find yourself a nice safe spot and just ride it out and keep it together. Don't panic. That'd be my tip. Stay calm and don't panic.
Don't panic. Yeah, there's no need to panic.
No.
Yeah.
We tried to keep everything as mellow as possible for the kids, so we never ever showed our own fear in front of our children. Because of that, she wasn't around, but the 4.5-year-old, he's never showed any signs of stress or
when it happens,
fear, or every time there's an aftershock, he just thinks it's hilarious and dances around. So we've always just tried to keep it really relaxed in our family, and even if things were falling around like in front of us, we never
still exciting.
Never screamed, never cried in front of the kids, just kept happy in front of them, and then they in turn stayed really calm, or he stayed really calm the whole time.
Coming up, we take a look at how our children are coping 3 years on from the earthquakes.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
Come on down to Ferrymead Golf. Care for a game of paintball? How about some swings on the old driving range? Or on our par 3 9-hole golf course? Test your skills on the mini golf course or have a go at the airgun shooting range. Then relax at the Wow Cafe with one of our super succulent Wow Burgers. Whether you want to perfect your swing or are looking for a fun family day out, come down to Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility. Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference More Mobility makes.
Come dine with Country Catering at the Kaipoi Golf Club Cafe. Enjoy our range of delicious $10 lunches, daily specials and other homemade goodies. Open to the public 7 days inside the Kaipoi Golf Club, north end of William Street, Kaipoi. We look forward to seeing you soon.
The Hearst Auto Dismantler's premises has been sold. We apologise for any inconvenience.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom, 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Join us tonight at 6 for DW World News. Informative, lively, international news, breaking stories and global developments. DW News, weekdays at 6 p.m, right here on CTV.
Over 900 Christchurch homes were affected by repeated flooding this year. A lot's been reported about the effects of the flooding on house owners, but what about their families? We look at the effects the disasters are having on our children.
More than 900 Christchurch properties were affected by the flooding. The Christchurch City Council created a task force to assess and identify short-term solutions for the flood-affected residents. CTV News spoke to residents in different areas of the city to investigate the effects the downpour has had on the children of the flood-affected homes. Kendra Street is a Hoonhay resident, owner of an earthquake-damaged home and a mother. Kendra's son, Luke, is just 5 years old. One day, Luke came home with a story he had written at school.
When it rained, yep, it flooded it at home.
Kendra Street worries for her son that when the flooding and earthquake disasters occur, the kids carry the stress they see their parents under.
Adults can deal with that, but kids don't understand that and they don't know how to deal with it, so the only way they can deal with it is to blow their lid.
The concerned mother says her son gets angry and upset over little things, a symptom that he's not coping with his parents being stressed.
My son's struggling enough with the fact that the house is going to have to come down. He's worried about his bedroom and the bulldozers coming through his bedroom. I mean, if he had floodwaters in his bedroom as well, that would just be awful.
Kendra Street says her son was only 2 years old when the February earthquake hit. It's all he's ever known to be normal because he was too young to remember life before the disasters.
Those kids have had to deal with earthquakes and mum and dad being upset about dealing with insurance and all of that stuff, and then to have their houses flood as well. And I think also for those little kids is they're seeing mum and dad go through all of this and they don't understand, especially if they were only 2, say, in the first quake. They don't know any different, but they don't want mummy and daddy to be upset.
Andy Ayres is a father of 5. His earthquake-damaged home and land means every time it floods, the backyard becomes a contaminated swamp and the livestock are put at risk. His daughter, 12-year-old Lucy, says when the rains come, the play area disappears. Lucy Ayres says she used to play in the yard all the time. Now, because of the contamination, the kids don't want to go outside.
It gets completely soaked and we can't really play on it till Dad's hosed it completely down and everything, and the tramp gets flooded and so we can't go on that either.
Contamination made worse by the floods but started with the earthquakes. Dudley Creek runs across the bottom of the Ayres property. After the ground shook, the soil was so contaminated that even the student army wouldn't assist with the cleanup. Dairy farmers from Morrinsville came to the rescue of the young farmer, removing almost 2 truckloads of the infected soil.
When the water comes up onto the grass, it leaves a disgusting residue. and whether that's silt or, like in the big flood, it was a real oily residue, or in the earthquakes it was the liquefaction with human waste. And so we just try and scrape it off and wash it down as best we can.
Flooding was made worse on the property because of the earthquake-affected land. The insurers for the house collapsed in the market, leaving the heirs without protection, left to fix what they can themselves. The father, Andy, worries the stress he and his wife have felt due to the insurance affects the kids. The Christchurch City Council did a good job clearing the green muck left in the creek, but Andy says between the streets of private property, nothing has been done. Growing up in a city being demolished and rebuilt is bound to take its toll on the children. Andy says whenever they can, the family of 5 get out of the city for a holiday. He doesn't want the childhoods of his 5 children to only be remembered as flooding and noise from earthquake repairs.
We're trying to keep our kids as much neutral to all this because it's their childhood.
Red Cross response team leader Anne-Marie Reynolds says the first thing they did was monitor the flooding and the situation. When it got dark, they looked at houses with lights on and went to check on the people. Anne-Marie Reynolds says in most of the houses, fathers were doing everything they could to dry out the mess. In some houses, she says, the contamination was so bad that the mothers and children just had to leave before it got any worse. Nicola Titheridge's home is in the Flockton Basin area. The house wasn't earthquake damaged but badly affected by the floodwaters. Cars, garages, sleepouts and the entire living areas of the house were washed out. The children retreated upstairs and the parents did all they could to rescue the belongings. Once the water started spilling into the house, there was no escape. Nicola Titheridge says it's been almost 3 months since the first flood. They had no other option but to start work themselves before the whole house was left to mould.
Dealing with the insurance company it's a big thing because you're fixing up and replacing all this work and you know it's going to get damaged again. And to move out, find temporary accommodation and then go through all that work once or twice a year just isn't really a good thing to be doing for a family.
12-year-old Saul says watching his parents pick up the pieces of his broken home is hard for him.
I don't want to see them get very angry and all the costs for like warmth and stuff.
Moving back to the house will not be an option anytime soon. Nicola Titheridge says worrying about her kids is difficult, especially when the whole situation feels hopeless.
How does a family thrive when every time it rains you have to consider that you're not going to be able to get your cars out, that you're not going to be able to go to work, that you're not going to be able to get your children to school? It's really tough.
Doing all she can, doing the best for her kids in a disaster-struck city. Joelle Batista, CTV News.
Still to come, the sport, traffic and weather updates.
I'm Chris Lynch. Join me for CTV's new current affairs show Lynched every Monday at 8:30 right here on CTV, where I talk to the decision makers and those responsible for running our city.
Blackwells has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwells your #1 choice. Visit Blackwells today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Located at the foot of the Port Hills, Berrymead Golf offers a spectacular location for any occasion. Make your dream wedding a reality with private use of our green function room, outdoor garden courtyard, large marquee and stunning gazebo. Or for your next conference, enjoy the relaxed atmosphere of Berrymead Golf, offering a private, spacious conference room with special deals to make any break a true break. All with customised catering from the Wow Cafe. Berrymead Golf, 50 Berrymead Park Drive, right next to the Berrymead Heritage Park.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself.
A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road. The Hitching Post, defining art our way.
Yuck, look at all this moss and lichen. I'm not getting up there, not in these heels. Time to call Mossbuster.
Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. You can buy Mossbuster online for less than half the cost of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest, or Mossbuster can do it for you. Check out our website or call the Mossbuster crew for a free quote. Mossbuster, 0800 88 1000.
Red and Black Sports match of the day in the Press Cup this week. It's on our screen, Sunday 12:30, 5:30 replay on the day, and 7 o'clock next Thursday night. Catch the match.
Here's Gordon Finlater with a preview of the weekend's sports activities.
Super Rugby takes a back seat for the next 3 weeks, with the All Blacks' first of 3 tests against England taking place tomorrow night at Eden Park. The English remain the only team to have defeated the All Blacks since they won the 2011 World Cup. However, the Poms will be without much of their star power until the series' second test, with players still finishing club duties in Europe. 4 Crusaders will start tomorrow night, including captain Richie McCaw, who plays his 125th test, while Israel Dagg will start at fullback, with Sam Whitelock at lock and Owen Frank starting in the front row, while his propping partner White Crockett will come off the bench. Tomorrow night's test gets underway at 7:35. Still with rugby, where the Hawkins Cup enters its penultimate round of games in Phase 1. Lincoln University could assure themselves of top spot when they take on Christchurch at Christchurch Park, while Burnside will be looking to keep their hopes of a top 6 finish alive when they are at home to University. 6th place Sydenham can confirm their place in the top half when they take on 7th place Sumner at Sydenham Park, while other games see Linwood at home to High School Old Boys, Marist at home to Shirley, and New Brighton do battle with Belfast at Raweti. It was confirmed earlier this week that Hagley Oval will host this year's Boxing Day Test. Canterbury cricket boss Lee Jamon has said that he would love nothing more than the Boxing Day Test to become a Christchurch tradition, but isn't getting overly confident that it will eventuate. The test against Sri Lanka will be the first international for the new boutique ground, which will also host a one-day international between the sides on January 11th. The Canterbury Rams will be looking to back up their first win at Cal Stadium they achieved back on Queen's Birthday Monday when they take on the Waikato Pistons this Sunday. With just 2 home games remaining, this will be one of the last chances to see the Rams in action. The match gets underway at 3:30. Our provincial ice hockey team, the Canterbury Red Devils, begin their defence of the national title when their season gets underway this weekend with a home doubleheader against the Southern Stampede. The team will be in action both Saturday and Sunday afternoons at Alpine Ice. It's a big weekend for local motorsport, with the Ashley Forest Rally Sprint taking place on both Saturday and Sunday, while on the other side of the planet, Geraldine's Hayden Paddon will compete in his first WRC event of the year in Italy's Rally of Sardinia. And finally tonight to schoolboy rugby, where this weekend's featured Press Cup match on CTV will see Shirley Boys High hosting Christ College. You can see coverage here on CTV at 12 on Sunday with a replay at 5:30. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Finlater for CTV Sport.
If you're driving around the central city, CTV's traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, due to ongoing work, traffic is hectic in the central city at the moment. Here's a few tips to help you stay out of jams. The following areas should be avoided: St Asaph Street and Madras Street, Durham Street and Cashel Street, Barbados Street and Chewham Street, and Kilmore Street where it meets Durham. The Gasson Street and Morehouse Ave intersection should also be avoided. The best route through the city when heading both north and south is Fitzgerald Avenue. If you need to get through, try using the 4 avenues to avoid delays. Check out the Transport for Christchurch website or watch CTV News first at 5 for daily updates.
And finally tonight, your regional weather.
Kia ora everybody. A dull day around Canterbury today. Let's take a look at the temperatures. Timaru had 13 degrees today. Temuka and Geraldine both on 13 degrees. Ashburton 12 degrees for your Friday. Methven had 13 degrees. Rakaia 12 degrees for you. Darfield also on 13 degrees today. Leeston and Rolleston had 13 degrees. Lincoln also had 13 today, and Christchurch, well, a cloudy day for you with 13 degrees. The same over in Akaroa with a dull 13 degrees today, and out in North Canterbury, Kaipoi, Rangiora and Amberley also on 13 degrees for Friday. Taking a look inland, Culverden and Hamner Springs, you were both on 13 degrees today and 13 degrees also for Cheviot. And as we travel further up along the east coast to Kaikoura, also on 13 degrees for Friday. Cool in Timaru tomorrow, mostly cloudy with light winds. Tonight's overnight low 7 degrees and tomorrow's high expect 14 degrees. Ashburton, while a heavy cloud will blanket mid-Canterbury too with light winds throughout the day. Tonight's low 7 degrees, tomorrow's high 14. It's looking cloudy all day for Christchurch with some light rain at first but mostly dry during the afternoon with light northeasterly winds. Tonight's low 7 degrees, tomorrow's high 13. Kaikoura, some scattered rain during the morning but mostly cloudy and dry during the afternoon with northeasterly breezes about. Tonight's low 7 degrees, tomorrow's high 13. And it's looking like a cloudy day around the rest of Canterbury, but let's take a look at the temperatures. Methven, you'll have 14 degrees tomorrow and 14 is expected in Rakaia. Darfield, you can expect 14 degrees tomorrow, and Leeston, 14 degrees for you. Rolleston and Lincoln, 14 degrees is set for your Saturday, and Akaroa, 13 degrees expected for you. And out in North Canterbury, Kaipoi and Rangiora, 13 degrees is all ready to go for Saturday. Amberley also have 13 expected there. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, a cloudy day for you also with 13 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury, cloudy and cold on Sunday with periods of rain developing during the morning. And there may be some brief heavy falls during the evening, then easing at night with light southerly winds. Cloudy on Monday and Tuesday with some outbreaks of light rain at times, but dry spells too. And it will be cold with light southerly winds. Cloudy with scattered rain on Wednesday and moderate easterlies developing. Periods of rain may become heavy on Thursday with fresh gusty easterly or southeasterly winds. And that's your weather update for Friday. Have a great weekend.
That's CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.